How to obtain a free quote for 17025 accreditation and how to learn the steps to become an accredited lab. Copyright 2009 LAB. We'll start by going to LAB's homepage, l-a-b.com, and you'll see right in the center two areas. One's the steps to accreditation. The other one is to request a quote. We'll start with the steps to accreditation. This is going to take us to the steps to accreditation page where we've outlined all the elements required to have your laboratory become accredited. These are kind of in logical order. There's also a link to our client instruction manual. It is an overview of the entire accreditation process. Spend some time on this page. Feel free to call or email with questions. We'll be happy to help in any way. To request a cost estimate, you'll use the request a quote button, typically in the upper right-hand side of all the pages. And if you're new to lab.com, you're going to start off by creating your own username and password. This literally should only take just a couple minutes. And you'll want to write down your password for future reference. But I'm going to run through this and show you how easy it is and how quick it can be, especially if you use the shortcut I'm about to show you, to get a cost estimate for your lab. Literally, this should only take 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to get this done in probably 3 or 4. Your name, organization, and username are already filtered in from the first page. We'll continue by adding information, company name, doing business as, and also known as. Some basic information on address, location, the primary contact, contact information, and a website address if you have one. Laboratory information. Most labs are not accredited through an affiliate, so you'll more than likely be putting no to that. Multi-site laboratory. If your laboratory has more than one location that wants to be accredited or needs to be accredited at this time, you'll want to click multi-site. If it's just one location, you'll put single site. Information about multi-site accreditation programs is right here. Requirements are they all have to be under one quality management system and typically have one point of contact for all the quality assurance corporately. Quality documentation. These questions really refer to a multi-site. Locations to be accredited. Again, this deals with multi-site. You'll continue to click these buttons and add locations until you have all the locations in there. Next page, time frame and programs. When are you planning to be ready for the first site's accreditation assessment? Typically lead times are, we allocate our assessors 30 to 60 days in advance, sometimes more in the busier times. It's important to put an accurate guesstimate in here at least so that we can help advise you in regards to milestones and moving forward. Just answer the following questions in this section so that we can again provide resources and help you along the way if possible and get an idea of where you are in the status of becoming accredited. We also do offer ANSI Z540-3. If that's something your lab requires, typically on a calibration side, click that box and we'll make sure that that portion is included in your scope of accreditation. The next page does go over the scope of accreditation, and this is a very important part, especially for labs newer to 17025. They may be unfamiliar with what we mean by a scope of accreditation, and that's okay, that's normal. We'll provide some resources as we go through this to help you. Most labs are either testing, calibration, or dimensional inspection. Sometimes there's overlap, sometimes there's not, but you'll want to check the fields that apply. So if you're just a testing lab or just a calibration lab, you'll check the appropriate checkbox. If you have a document already formatted with all your scope documents or scope, proposed scope ready, email that to me at sales@lab.com. The reason is that'll save you a bunch of time in this application. And if you email it, you do not need to re-enter it, and it'll save you a bunch of time. So we're just gonna, for today, we'll click on testing, go to the next page. Here's gonna provide a dialog box. And in this box, we really need you to put some detailed information, including specific methods if possible, of what methods you're going to use for your testing, or if it's on the calibration side, ranges of the types of calibrations you're going to be performing, and perhaps the equipment that it's going to be on. But either way, we do have links to scope of accreditation information, testing or calibration technology examples, and specifically testing or calibration scope instructions. So we've got a lot of information here to help you, but if you get stuck on this at all, again, contact us. All of our contact information is here to the left, and we'll be happy to help you through this. And at this point, you may not need to have a final scope, but certainly have an idea of what it is you're wanting to be accredited for. 17025 and our accreditation process is really going to be concerned with just those methods that um, you tell us to look at. Here's some other information. This is just some basic information that, again, help us to understand you and your company. Most importantly, if you can give us an indication of how you heard about LAB, that's great information for us to have, so we can continue to serve you and other labs seeking accreditation. Here's just some responsibilities and acknowledgments. And the key to these is, after having requested that LAB provide accreditation services, you'll agree to these. At this point, all you're doing is requesting a quote, so none of these are required to be enforced at this time. If you do choose LAB as your accreditation body, obviously it is required that you cooperate with us, that you pay any fees associated with your accreditation, you let us inside the laboratory and cooperate through the whole process, so we can do a good job of assessing you and be fair in your accreditation. Then you'll just need to have an authorized representative from the laboratory. Consultants, unfortunately, you're unable to submit applications for the laboratory. We do need a legal representative for the laboratory to acknowledge these terms. Just simply put time or your name, title, phone, and email there. Click this box and hit submit. And really, that's it. Once I get those, I'll get email notified as soon as you submit this. If you did email me a scope, I'll match that up with your application, contact you with any questions we may have your cost estimate to you typically within 2 to 3 business days. Every cost estimate is different because it's based on your scope of accreditation. But we have provided a lot of resources for you, in addition to just myself being available to help answer any questions and make sure that we take care of you on this side. So again, if you have any questions, just call. All our contact information is here, or email us at sales@lab.com. Hope this helped you out. Thanks.